quote to install them. And so we are working on it, and hopefully for the next meeting we will be doing some kind of live stream. Next we have a proclamation for September is the National Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. Would you like to go read it? Or? Proclamation National Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas ovarian cancer is the deadliest of all gynecologic cancer and fifth leading cause of death among women. And each year, over about 22,000 women will be diagnosed with ovarian cancer reliably. And whereas due to vague symptoms and lack of a reliable early detection test, most women are not diagnosed until stage 3 or later. Fewer than 48% of women diagnosed survive beyond 5 years. And whereas, while a mammogram can detect breast cancer and a pap smear can detect cervical cancer, there is no reliable early detection test for ovarian cancer. And whereas women's lives can be saved through increased public awareness of ovarian cancer and its risk factors, signs, and symptoms. And whereas this month the town of Dover joins all those who are battling ovarian cancer, those who have lost their lives to the disease, their loved ones, and our state's many dedicated healthcare workers in spreading awareness, committing to public education, and embracing hope for better diagnosis, treatments, and cure. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the Mayor, Carolyn Blackman, and Board of Aldermen of the town of Dover, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and laws of the United States, present this proclamation to observe National Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month.
Thank you very much. An encouragement for all women to get their pap smears and prevent cancer. So the whole month is Cancer Awareness Month of September. Thank you.
Mayor, next we have a presentation for Alpha Investments LLC, care of Cali Law, on property located at 137 King Street, Block 2017, Block 17. Requested zone line change to R3, conform R3 to one lot. Someone was going to do a presentation?
He was the presenter. Great, are they not here yet?
I thought you were going to present this.
They're not here really. I thought he was the presenter.
No.
Got it. Okay, we'll move on.
Next, Mayor, we have ordinance for first reading, ordinance 27, 2022, creating a loading zone on North Sussex Street.
This deals with the loading zone next to the Newberry building. It's basically putting a loading zone back where the loading zone used to be, and it's for 2 spots on the right next to the side of the Newberry building. It's very similar to what we did for the garden center across the street on Blackwell. There and Blackwell and Morris, and then this would be on this side on Sussex, or on the side next to the building.
15-minute parking time.
I'm just realizing in section 3 there's no deadline for the legalization. It says between the hours of 6 a.m. Sunday through Saturday. So is it just 6 a.m. to 6 a.m.?
this Sunday, I would guess, Sunday's not as important as Saturday, probably. Deliveries, I mean, this is for people making deliveries for the.
Basically, what section 3 is saying is that those
Yep.
spaces are available for parking during those hours
No
because
end time.
they're not, it's not outside of, it's, I think what it's supposed to be saying is 6 a.m. Sunday, hang on one second. I'll check that with Tamara.
We should, it's not in the ordinance.
I think what happened was there was a typo with when the time was supposed to be put in there for the end time. I think that's really what's missing. And what that section is supposed to be doing is authorizing for parking use.
Yes.
So what would you advise us to hold this, or would you?
Well, maybe we can just move on and revisit this.
Yeah,
Like that?
yeah, it's a typo.
Okay, so I think this is that is good.
This I think was just a cut and paste from the previous ordinance, and that probably was got missed.
So maybe we can pop back on this. Do we have to wait for this, or can we go on to the ordinance?
I think we can move on and then come back to it.
Okay. Next, we have ordinance for second reading, public hearing and adoption, ordinance 21-2022, bond ordinance providing for various improvements to the water system and in by the town of Dover, in the county of Lawrence, New Jersey, appropriating $3,150,000 thereof and authorizing the issuance of, and there's a typo there, $3,150,000 bonds or notes of the town to finance the cost thereof.
Mayor, it's come to my attention that we need to make an amendment to this ordinance. I'm sorry, it's come to my attention that we need to make an amendment to this ordinance. We need to amend to include broader language in case of projects coming at a different price with no additional dollars added. And this will also include a portion of the price of a new jetpack vehicle.
This is going to be amended, and there are no more dollars added to this.
Correct.
That's correct.
So I need a motion to amend, as first reading, and then it'll be advertised for the following meeting for the public portion.
I'll make that motion. Oh, I'll second. Someone did something.
Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderman Cruz?
Yes.
Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones?
Yes.
Alderwoman Whitner?
Yes.
Mayor Blackman?
Yes.
Six approved. 6-0.
Six a.m. Saturday to 6 a.m. Monday morning. So people can park there Saturday and Sunday.
And that was for ordinance 27-2022, creating a loading zone on North Sussex Street, which is first reading. We need a motion in a second.
Second motion.
Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones? Yes. Alderwoman Whitner?
Yes.
Mayor Blackman?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, next we have ordinance 22-2022, creating a 2-hour restricted parking regulation for a portion of Thompson Avenue and Legion Place. I would need a motion to open the public portion. Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones? Yes. Alderwoman Whitner? Mayor Black. Public portion is open. Anyone that would like to speak on ordinance 22, 2022? And step up to the podium. Seeing no one, I need a motion to close the public portion. All in favor? Public portion is not closed. I need a motion to approve or deny. Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones?
Yes.
Alderwoman Whitner?
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes.
Approved. Next, we have ordinance 23, 2022, amending an ordinance titled, an ordinance establishing through streets and stop intersections, Iden Street at the intersection of Elena Place. That one needs a correction. It should read Orem's Drive, intersection of Elena Place, not Iden. So we would need a motion to amend this for first reading, and the public portion will be on the next meeting.
I move to make this into the public portion.
Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones?
Yes.
Alderwoman Whitner?
Yes.
Mayor Blackman?
Yes.
Approved.
No, the re-advertising of public hearing will be held
September 3rd. Next, we have ordinance 24, 2022, execute a financial agreement by and between the town of Dover and 107, 111, Bassett Highway Urban Renewal LLC for property located at 107, 111, Bassett Highway, also known as Block 1201, Lot 6.01, as shown on the official tax map of the town of Dover and the Bassett Highway redevelopment area. And we need a motion and a second to open the public portion. Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz? Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones?
Yes.
Alderwoman Whitner?
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes.
Public portion is open for ordinance 24, 2022. Anyone who would like to speak on that ordinance? Seeing no one, I need a motion to close the public portion. All in favor? We need a motion to approve or deny. Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz? Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones? Alderwoman Whitner?
Yes.
Mayor Black?
Yes.
Ordinance is approved. Ordinance, next is ordinance 25, 2022, amending bond ordinance 30, 2004, canceling appropriations in the amount of $500,354.92 from previously adopted bond ordinance and determining that said appropriations, including bond proceeds, are no longer needed for the purposes set forth and in said ordinance, are transferring said amount to the capital surplus fund and appropriating the sum of $711,646.80 for various general improvements and authorizing the issuance of $200,727 of bonds and or notes of the town to finance part of the cost of the general improvements authorized to be undertaken in and by the town of Dover in the county of Morris, state of New Jersey. I'm gonna need a motion and a second to open the public portion. Motion.
So this was the item, I believe it was $449, I'm not sure. An over expenditure that was done 18 years ago. It was picked up in the audit, and so in order to correct the $440 or $449, it has to, this whole, all what he read has to be done for that amount, and it'll remove it from one of the columns of the audit. We're not appropriating any of these monies, we're not spending any of these monies. That's all been done, just one line item was over expended by $400, and we got to cancel.
portion is now open for ordinance 25, 2022. Anyone that would like to speak on that ordinance, please step up to the podium. Seeing no one, I would need a motion to close the public portion. All in favor? Next, I would need a motion to approve or deny the ordinance. Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz? Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones? Yes. Alderwoman Whitmer?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes.
That ordinance is approved. Next, we have ordinance 26, 2022, amending chapter 57, Police Department of the Code of the Town of Dover, Article 1, Organization and Membership, and Article Article 5, Table of Organization. I need a motion and a second to the public portion. Roll call, Alderman Santana?
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz? Alderman Valencia?
Yes.
Alderman Quinones? Alderwoman Whitmer?
Yes.
Mayor White?
Yes.
Public portion is open for ordinance 26, 2022. Anyone that would like to speak on that ordinance?
Jim Dodd, 261 West Clinton Street, Dover. I have a question on this organizational chart. You have, obviously, the mayor, board of aldermen, town administrator, appropriate authority, chief, deputy chief, captain, lieutenant, sergeants, and officers. Can you tell me how many captains you currently are going to have in the police department in Dover? It's not on this chart. One? Is that correct, Mayor? One?
Yes, sir.
How many lieutenants are you going to have?
There's four.
4 lieutenants. How many sergeants?
Unfortunately, we have some vacancies, but when they're filled, it will be 5.
On this current organizational chart, it'll be 5. And how many active police officers?
If you add them all together, it's 37, but I don't know.
No, I'm asking how many active police officers, not how many people are in the
I'll
department.
have to get back to them.
So we don't know that answer.
I do, but I'm not gonna tell.
So one of the problems that you develop and I'm not against, first let me say for the public record, I'm not against promoting police officers. What I'm concerned with is as you make these promotions in the police department, are you prepared to put more officers on the street? Have you decided to fund in the 2023 budget additional police officers? You haven't added any police officers at all to the Dover Police Department. What you've done is replace officers that have retired, to my knowledge.
No, you're incorrect, as usual.
And how many, Mr. Bennett? How many police?
2.
You added 2 new officers?
Yes, sir.
In addition to who has retired?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so how many will that bring you to a full complement?
37.
37 in the complete department with superior officers.
With superior.
Do you know what the ratio is for lieutenants, sergeants, and police officers? How that structure is going to be?
No, we're not for that kind of information.
So you're the appropriate authority and you don't have those answers, is that correct?
I'm not giving them to you right now without checking them.
Okay. So my concern to this board, and all of you need to be concerned with the amount of police officers we have in our neighborhoods protecting our community. Once again, I'm not against promoting police officers, I support it. My concern is that we don't have enough police officers on the streets. I would like to know how many officers we currently have on any given shift. Do you know that answer, Mr. Bennett? You don't?
I know that we have more police officers in uniform now than ever under your administration.
I completely disagree with that, but
Well,
that's
you
okay,
can.
That's your
You
opinion.
never tell anything straight to anyone.
That's your opinion, Mr. Bennett, but that's okay. And we'll get
Shared by
back,
other people.
we'll get back to that number. I'll offer the information since you're not willing to give it to the public here tonight.
But I'll give it to the public, I just won't give it to you.
Thank you.
Seeing no one else, I would need a motion and a second to close the public portion.
No, I have something to say. Dominic Tiffany, 2 Elm Street, Dover, New Jersey. I'm gonna rebuttal what he just said because I was on the board when he was mayor. And he was always staff heavy up on the brass. And we told him this, and he doesn't care. I mean, we paid for public safety directors, we paid So under the past administration, it didn't work. And the lies need to stop. They really do. This isn't a political campaign, it's town meeting. And you don't live at 261 Clinton Street. Just because you park a Jeep there and have a couple bills sent there. You own a little farm up in Freedom. Tell the truth. It ain't gonna kill you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Seeing no one else, we need a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Second. All in favor? And we need a motion, and a second to approve it tonight. Roll call, Alderman Santana,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz,
Yes.
Alderman Valencia,
Yes.
Alderman Quinones, Alderwoman Whitner,
Yes.
Mayor Blackman. Ordinance is approved. Next, we have approval of the bills list, resolution 230, 2022. We need a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, Alderman Santana,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz, Alderman Valencia,
Yes.
Alderman Quinones. Yes. Alderwoman Whitner,
Yes.
Mayor Blackman.
Yes.
Application is approved. Next, we have consent agenda resolution, resolution 231, 2022, approving annual dance license for Mochi's Restaurant. Resolution 232, 2022, approving taxi cab driver licenses. Resolution 233, 2022, approving grant application and executed grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the Brook Lane Improvement Project. Resolution 234, 2022, appointing South Brunswick Chief Raymond Ada to serve as hearing officer with regard to certain employment matters involving the town of Dover. We need a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, Alderman Santana,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz,
Yes.
Alderman Valencia. Yes. Alderman Quinones. Yes. Alderwoman Whitner,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes.
Resolutions are approved. Next, we have a resolution for discussion and consideration, resolution 235, 2022, authorizing the procurement of a new police vehicle. We need a second. Roll call, Alderman Santana,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz, Alderman Valencia,
Yes.
Alderman Quinones. Alderwoman Whitner,
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes.
Resolution is approved. Next, we have resolution 236, 2022, authorizing the procurement of new police equipment. Roll call, Alderman Santana,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz, Alderman Valencia,
Yes.
Alderman Quinones, Alderwoman Whitner,
Yes.
Mayor Black. Resolution is approved. Next, we have resolution 237, 2022, authorizing the procurement of new DPW vehicle, snowplow. Roll call, Alderman Santana,
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz,
Yes.
Alderman Valencia,
Yes.
Alderman Quinones, Alderwoman Whitner,
Yes.
Mayor Black. Resolution is approved. Next, we have resolution 238, 2022, authorizing the procurement of new DPW vehicle, jetpack. We're gonna table it then to the next meeting.
What resolution is that, Rick?
Two setbacks.
238, 2022.
We're gonna hold that until the next meeting.
Yeah, it's on.
Next, we have resolution 239, 2022, authorizing the collector of taxes to cancel the tax levy and refund payment to the listed taxpayer due to an overbill of taxes on the property. We need a motion in a second. Roll call, Alderman Santana.
Yes.
Alderman Cruz. Alderman Valencia.
Yes.
Alderman Quinones. Alderman Render.
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes.
Next, we have resolution 240-2022, authorizing the purchase of security equipment from Talk of Lyndhurst, New Jersey, through the Bergen County Cooperative Pricing Council. I need a motion in a second. Roll call, Alderman Santana.
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz. Alderman Valencia.
Yes.
Alderman Quinones. Alderwoman Winder.
Yes.
Mayor Black.
Yes.
Resolution is approved. Resolution 243-2022. Well, we're gonna wait until all the rest for the next three, resolutions. I believe we have a presentation here.
Yes, I think that's correct. The presentation. Yes.
Yes, that's the first one we're gonna do.
After
Presentation,
that.
then we're gonna do anything else that we have.
After that, late. Yes, half hour. Well, I don't know who told you that, but they were wrong. We'll accommodate you.
We're gonna have a presentation, for property at, East King Street.
Thank you, Mayor, Aldermen, Alderwomen, on behalf of the applicant, Larry Cali. Appreciate you accommodating us. We were asked to be here at 7:30. I realize you started at 7, so thank you for fitting us in now. We'll be relatively brief this evening. We'll go through everything we think we have to, Madam Mayor and members, but relatively simple, straightforward story to tell. We do have a prospective, I want to say witness, but a member of our applicant team who can take you through the history of how this site was originally 2 lots. Now we're down to 1 lot, and the preclusion of viable uses on this 1 lot now for one use or the other, or both. What I'd like to do, Madam Mayor, with your permission, is to pass around a few handouts that we have that you can go through to maybe help illustrate what we're trying to do this evening. So briefly, and by way of background, Madam Mayor, members, Alpha Investments LLC is the owner of several properties in the town, including this property here, the subject property at 137 King Street. For the record, it's block 2017, lot 17. And we are here with a rezoning proposal, Madam Mayor and members. And that proposal is such that we're dealing with a property that is sort of an orphan here on this lot. It's an oversized lot, about 8,300 square feet, which makes it significantly oversized by about 10% for the R3 zone, but a large portion of our property is in the C2 zone and completely unusable. And as you work through that 5-page package, what you'll see, 6-page package, is the rendering on the front page, which is the proposed 2-family structure that the applicant has endeavored to develop and improve this property with. Right now, there's a single-family residence pinched towards the corner of the property in the R3 zone, with residential uses to one side of us and starting to get towards heavier commercial uses towards the other direction as you go towards 46. The rendering is exactly what the applicant intended to develop here. It's a well-appointed structure. It's beautiful. It will fit into the neighborhood. The second and third sheets are existing condition site photos taken from vantage points from across the street from the left and right side of the property. You'll see the very large void of an area where there is nothing developed today. That is largely the C2 portion of the property that we've got. The last 3 pages are reduced size sets from Mr. Smith's surveying plans. Mr. Smith is with me tonight. He can certainly maybe give some more color and context to the history of the property. But as you'll see, we're amongst a lot of residential uses immediately adjoining us, primary uses beyond us, and he shows where that house is located. As indicated, it's pretty pinched towards the corner, with the last sheet showing the addition to that house to make it a 2-family, which is permitted within the R3 zone. The issue we have is that historically, and we don't know when or why, this had been 2 lots. and the bisecting line of the lot was not quite towards the center of the lot, it was more towards the right side where that vacant swap is now, beyond the house line, which renders the property relatively useless for that vacant area of land. We can't viably develop anything that is a C2 zone, principally permitted use here on that property in that portion of the land. We can't expand our R3 zone property use, notwithstanding the fact that we're an oversized lot in the zone. So it's sort of useless property to the applicant. It cannot be developed as of right. The applicant did endeavor to prosecute an application before the Board of Adjustment, which voted favorably 4-3 to approve it, but because of the statutory nuance of the D variance being required solely because of a residential use in a commercial zone, a supermajority vote was required of the Board of Adjustment, so 4-3 vote to approve it was not enough to carry, technically a statutory denial. That brings us here, Madam Mayor, as essentially our last resort effort to have the town give this one more look to determine whether or not the Scrivener decision to run the lot line with the zone line when there is now one lot. It's a single unified lot, it has been for years, it's lot 17, yet we have a zone line running through our property where a lot line once was. Made more sense when there was a lot line there, but there isn't one now. It's a single lot for a single use, and the intent is to develop this with a two-family structure. As indicated on the rendering, the architectural plans are fully prepared, construction drawings are completed. It's a matter of just implementing the use of the property at this time. But that's what brings us here for the zone change request this evening, Madam Mayor. We'd be glad to take any questions you folks might have. You can certainly bring up Steve Smith, who was our scrivener of that site plan that was before the zoning board of adjustment, and the last 3 sheets of the packet that you folks have this evening to answer any questions and perhaps again give some more context on the history of how these zone lines came to be here and how it's effectively antiquated now because we're dealing with a single lot, a single residential use, and nothing else to do with a large portion of the remaining land here.
On page 2, the drawing here, that's the single family home that is there now.
That's correct. That's right.
Okay. And you're proposing to do page 1, that's what you're looking to put there.
Yeah, the match line, Madam Mayor, is essentially where you see the articulation come towards us on the facade to the left of the garage, where it looks like on the rendering, the structure starts coming towards us a little bit with that articulation and fenestration. That is effectively what is the match line to the existing house. So what you see towards the right side of that front page will be filling in that void that you see on the second page. In a scaled manner, you know, we still are okay on things like impervious coverage, we can park and comport with the RSIF standards. It's not proposed to be overdeveloped, it's just proposed to be further developed, is the idea here.
So, all you want to do is structure this house to become a two-family dwelling, right?
That's exactly right. To do that, we would need the zone line adjusted.
I got the same problem in my house, I got it.
Sure.
I have a line in my drinking now, so I got what you're saying. Is there enough, how do you say, is there enough footage on that one side to make the house by itself, or?
No, there is not.
It's not?
There is not.
This don't tell us anything.
Right. So if you look at the, no, it's a very good question. If you look at the last sheet, the plan sheet, which shows the proposed conditions of your packet, the 6th page, you'll see exactly where the addition leaves us off, and you'll see the hard lines towards the middle of that sheet going what I'll call top to bottom. That's the lot line. So there is not room for a secondary structure, but there is a perfect opportunity to expand this existing structure to make it a two-family and still in compliance with the zone standards. So that was the design that all of our professionals have landed on here as the appropriate solution.
This portion right here is all that fits.
Yeah, I have the same issue for my house, where the line runs through my house. So I have to knock down part of my house to make another lot. So what he's trying to do is stretch it out where it's gonna fit two units in it. Yeah, no, he's put another one in. Is that too share between both tenants?
It's one for each, I believe. Yeah, that was the plan, that remains.
For any other questions?
How long ago did you go for the board of adjustment?
It was about a year ago, that we were prosecuting the case. It was still virtual, we were on Zoom, but it was within the past 12 months or so.
So I would need a motion to make the zone change and add the ordinance to the next mayor and board meeting. First reading would be September 13th. From there, we go to the planning board for review on September 28th. The paper advertisement would be September 30th in the Daily Record. And the second reading would be on October 11th.
Before we make a motion, I do have one more question. Sorry, I'm looking at this now, and I'm guessing at some point this law absorbed, law 18.
Yes. 17 and 18 had merged at some point during prior ownership, probably during common ownership with a commonality and communal use of the property. They effectively merged by law. So eventually on the tax records and in use, this had become simply lot 17, a single oversized lot in two different zones.
So in 17 was in the non-R3.
Right, one lot was in R2, one was in the C2, exactly right.
Alright. I'll make that motion.
Roll call, Alderman Santana.
Yes.
Alderwoman Cruz. Alderman Valencia.
Yes.
Alderman Quinones.
Yes.
Alderwoman Whitner.
Yes.
Mayor Blatt.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time tonight. Apologize for being a little bit late. Thank you, folks. Have a wonderful Labor Day holiday, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
We're going to change our meeting right here. We're going into executive session, but we're going to go into the public portion of the meeting.
Public comment. Town of Dover highly values the input of residents in making important decisions that affect the residents of our community. We also believe in the rights of residents to observe governing body meetings. To ensure that all our residents have the opportunity to offer comment, each statement comment shall be held to the time period of 5 minutes. Public comment has been solicited via the following method. All comments must include your name and residential address at the beginning of your comment. Comments may be submitted by hand delivery at Town Hall located at 37 North Sussex Street, Dover, New Jersey, 07801, addressed to the Deputy Municipal Clerk, Ronaldo Joey. Comments may be dropped off during normal business hours, which are 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. up until 1 p.m. the day of the meeting. Comments may be submitted by mail to Town Hall, 37 North Sussex Street, Dover, New Jersey, 07801, addressed to the Deputy Municipal Clerk, Ronaldo Joey. Comments must be received by 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Comments may be submitted by email until 1 p.m. on the day of the meeting via email to publiccomment@dover.nj.us. The subject of the email should be as follows: public meeting comment, followed by the date of the meeting and the name. Example: public comment, August 23rd, 2022, John Public. Public comment portions of the agenda are not structured as a question and answer session, but rather they are offered as opportunity to share your thoughts with the Mayor and Board of Aldermen. The Mayor and Board will attempt to engage in dialogue that will not be able to respond to all public comments. However, all comments are considered and will be investigated and addressed as appropriate. If you have a question that we are unable to answer at the meeting, feel free to submit your questions to the Office of the Municipal Clerk in writing and include your name, address, telephone number, where you can be contacted. The email address of the clerk's office is doverclerk@dover.nj.us. Questions will be answered within a reasonable time. Please be courteous and mindful of the rights of others when providing comments. Comments may not be abusive, obscene, or threatening. All members of the public attending mayor and board of aldermen meetings must treat each other and the mayor and board of aldermen with respect. Individuals offering comments are not permitted to make personal attacks on any town employees, the mayor, or any members of town government, other testifiers, or members of the public. I would need a motion and a second to approve the public portion.
Wow. You gotta shorten that.
Roll call, Alderman Santana.
Yes.
Alderman Cruz.
Yes.
Alderman Valencia.
Yes.
Alderman Quinones. Alderman Whitner.
Yes.
Mayor White. Public portion is over.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Board, Senator Bennett. My name is Robin Klein, 49 Jackson Avenue, here in Dover. My comments tonight have to do with asking a few questions and presenting you with what I hope is something that you're going to find very interesting, very innovative, and very progressive for our community. So this year we celebrate our town's 300th anniversary. Something to be proud of. A legacy that has been left to us today in your hands as our elected representatives. So my question is, what legacy will you, our elected representatives, leave for our community's future? Is it going to be more density, more traffic and congestion, more costs of providing our local government services? Because those costs are escalating. And how are we going to manage this with more people, more schools, more traffic, more building? Is this the legacy you want to leave to our future generations? So here's what I'd like to suggest. An alternative, one which that I've shared with many people of Dover over the last 4 to 5 months, and I believe it will have the support, hopefully, of many of you here, as well as those in attendance, and those that might be watching on our social media channel. It's called Resiliency Parks. And what is a resiliency park? These are areas, public spaces, that help alleviate flooding in our flood-prone areas. They create wonderful public spaces for passive use of the community. They help improve the quality of life for all of our residents. And here in Dover, a resiliency park, and I'm going to explain a little more about it, gives the potential for us in our community to create or connect what I will call a green circuit. So what is a green circuit? Let's start with Hurd Park on the west side of town. Beautiful. A destination place, not only for our residents, but for people all over the region. Then recently we had the dedication in Waterworks Park of a Riverside Trail from our high school. What a wonderful amenity. Beautiful. That takes us through the Rockaway River Trail, which I brought this tonight. A study that was done 2 decades ago and pretty much just collected dust here in Dover. What an opportunity missed. Not only was that an opportunity missed, of course, but there was a publication in Landscape Architecture that featured the Dover vision for the Rockaway River corridor. It received a Best Practices Initiative, only to be put on a shelf, collecting dust, and no effort put into it. Let me continue. Our green circuit can also connect our Crescent Field. Many improvements in a very active sports complex there. It can connect Mountain Park, the beautiful wooded area and trails up on Livingston Avenue. It certainly can connect our most recent open space acquisition along East Blackwell Street, that little pond park. But what I'm getting at, this is what my suggestion is. We have a blighted property along East Blackwell Street in South Salem, the former Schwartz Motors. That, I propose, will be our new resiliency park. It'll be a bookend to what Herd Park is to the west side of our town. And this will be our showcase and public place on our east side of town, particularly where our flooding occurs annually. Now, let me continue, because this is not a new concept. Hoboken is now building their fourth resiliency park to control flooding. Fourth. Jersey City already has it in place. It creates a green infrastructure which helps mitigate flooding. Hoboken decided recently to take a property just about 1.4 acres, 1.43 acres. And what was proposed was a residential development of 186 unit residential high-rise. The people of Hoboken said, enough. What about our space? The more people you put in your community, the more space you need to provide them. That's a healthy environment for a community. So what does this resiliency park do? Well, you can create a cultural, you can combine cultural as well as historic aesthetics in this area. So here's what I have in mind. You create a variety of seating, some in the shade, some in the sun. Maybe some bike racks get put on this property, with some quiet nooks, an open lawn maybe, and encircled by some natural amenities of shady groves like Herd Park, beautiful cherry trees, woodland walks, and maybe some adaptive gardens. It would have a central terrace, maybe made of porous pavers, and a platform that can be used for cultural events, or what I would hope to see in our community, these pop-up markets. Why not? It also would be a venue for dog walkers. We've heard enough about what happened downtown with a large project, and people can't even walk their dogs. This is happening everywhere. So now I want to say in Hoboken, because this is not new, we can learn from others. The company that's building the fourth resiliency park in Hoboken is Tomco Construction. We know them up in Mount Arlington. A local company. So you don't have to go and find somebody across the country or you know, the Mid-Atlantic region. We have somebody building it right now. They're also building it with low interest New Jersey environmental infrastructure financing. I'm familiar with this. When I was working for the local government, I'm hoping some of our bond ordinances that you're talking about with our waterworks is going to be also with this New Jersey environmental low infrastructure financing program. Low interest. So you see, we in Dover have a prime location. It's an available location right now. East Blackwell Street, South Salem Street. Let me go a step further. There's money. And you don't have to take our pockets, the taxpayers, for it. Governor Murphy's budget put a line item for flood mitigation. It's there. Jersey City's using it. Hoboken's now using it. Again, There's Blue Acres funding on the state level. There's redevelopment grant money for the planning project of this. And like I said, there's the New Jersey Environmental Infrastructure Financing Program available as well. Now let's look to our Morris County representatives. I've spoken with them as well. Guess what? There's money available for Dover. Open space, historic preservation. We can combine a lot of it into that. All we have to do is get together and make it happen. So we can help our people and we can help our town thrive for decades to come. It's at your seats right now, it's in your laps right now as our elected representatives. What direction you want to take this community, what legacy you want to leave our future generations in Dover. Leave it better. Let's take out the pavement. So let's get on board with an environmentally sustainable future in our town. It's your legacy. I want to say, if Dover takes this on, and I'm willing to be a resource, if you're going to have an advisory committee, or a citizens committee, an envisioning committee, whatever, this will be the first of its kind in Morris County. But further than that, it'll be the first of its kind in northwestern New Jersey. It's innovative, it's progressive, it's environmentally sustainable, and it will define the future green infrastructure of our town. So in closing, I encourage each of you and my fellow citizens to please, let's get an advisory committee together. Let's start exploring this. Let's start connecting with our state and county elected officials to see how we can all work together to green our town. One other thing I want to mention, if you weren't at Canal Day, Mayor and Council in Ward, our neighbors, renovated the canal walk in the walk tender's house. It was a long-term project. That money didn't come from the taxpayers. $4.7 million. Wharton can do it, we in Dover can do it, but you have to want to do it. It takes an effort. It takes an extra meeting of a week maybe. But I guarantee you, you will have the public behind you in this. It's much needed for a flood-prone area in Dover. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Dennis Tui, 23 Passaic Street, Dover. I know you're all missing me, that's why I came back tonight. So I just want to bring up this pilot program that it seems to be all over the place. I don't know how you can judge or how you can control this percentage when there's rented and unrented units. I think it would be better for the town to say if somebody's going to put in 90 apartments, whether they're rented or not, you have to pay the town that percentage. I think that's only fair to the taxpayers of Dover. That, you know, and because I don't know how you control, people rent and move in and out all the time. I don't know how you would know when somebody moved in, somebody moved out. You know, do you prorate that percentage? Well, they were only here 3 months, they were only here 9 months. You know, how do you keep control of that? You need somebody, that would be a full-time job for somebody to do that. But if it's set up front and saying, okay, you're putting in 90 apartments, whether they're occupied or not occupied, because when they opened up, I'm sure there's not 90 people waiting at the door saying, we want to rent your apartments. It's a process, like the Meridian, you know, it was a process to get 95% full. So it's still 5% not full. You know, so I think it would be more controllable if the town made that agreement that, all right, if you want the pilot, this is what you have to do. And, you know, even in commercial, like the Mars Thrift Shop, Berman's Old Auction, you know, there's stores going in there in Berman, and there's apartments. You know, if they turn around like the one on Bassett Highway in the middle of construction saying, well, guess what, we want pilot now. You know, so, oh, but we only rented one store, so that percentage should only be for that one store. We have 3 vacant stores, we shouldn't have to pay on that. And I think that's unfair to the normal taxpayer of the town, that should be in the package. All right, you're gonna put in 4 stores and you want pilot, then you're gonna pay for those 4 stores, that percentage. Or apartments, you know, because 90 there, I hear 254 in the old Schwartz Motors building, you know, that area there. You know, I think that's something that would save the town, you know, a lot of grief. Because like I say, I don't know how you control it. People come, people go. You know, so that's just one of the things. And the other thing is, you know, I'm a youth sports advocate. You know, I think it's very big for a town. There's 2 gentlemen here that I coached when they were little boys. And, you know, I read in the paper that in order to play soccer in this town, and I'm a football guy, but I'm there for everybody. To play soccer in this town, it's $80 if you're a volunteer, and $100 per kid if you're not a volunteer. And I gotta believe that money, some of it has to go for insurance. At one time in the youth sports in this town, there was an umbrella policy that covered everybody. Little League Baseball, midget football, midget wrestling, the whole 9 yards. And there was only fee that had to be paid was to the Board of Education for the 4 home games we played at Hamilton Field. And now it seems like they have to pay, I don't know if they're paying, I'm sure they're paying some sort of permit fee to use Crescent Field as soccer fields. Or I understand King Field is for that too. So I mean, that's something, you know, people come and say we need low house costing, we need rent control, you know, we give free lunches to the poor students in the school system, and yet we're turning away around kids that may not be able to play a town sport, which I believe builds unity, kids meet each other from other schools, and all those things that are important. I mean, it's a town project. It's not like outside people. You know, these kids all go to school together. And I think that's important to build that, you know? And so I think that's something that the town, I don't know, maybe I'm off base, maybe the town doesn't charge, it's free for them to play. I mean, I know what football equipment used to cost. I can't believe that a soccer ball, some nice cleats and, you know, shirts and that costs that much money. So I believe, you know, it's a heavy cost. And I think if the town is charging for permits and it's like an umbrella insurance policy like there used to be, that's something the town should look into. You know, I think it's very important. I mean, I grew up in a family of 9, you know. People in a lot of believe way back when all the kids in Dover had silver spoons. Well, let me tell you, we didn't even have the spoon, you know. So, you know, it's something that sports gave us, you know, an avenue to keep the bed of our lives, which we all have. And so that's all I. And then one other thing I want to say real quick is the parking they talked about over on 1 Thompson Ave. You know, from what I understand, the gentleman lives there, that the New Jersey Transit still, they can't park underneath the parking there. That's for New Jersey Transit. They have to park on the outside of the underground parking or underneath parking. That's what I was told by a gentleman who lives there. No.
The Pembroke building has certain parking underneath the building for residents, and then there are 40 public parking places placed around there. It has nothing to do with
Oh, well, they can't park there is what I was told.
And those 40 places right now, they cannot, but there is every unit has at least one parking place.
And then they cut their car in a third and then they could fit that.
They have.
One in a
they have
third,
one.
I don't want
But on the sports,
Third of a
just so you
car.
know, on the sports, we do still have that blanket umbrella.
No, yeah.
And the sports teams are almost all independent. The baseball is run by the Little League.
Right, we were that too, but,
And so they charge the fees for
right,
it, and we give them a stipend for each of the sports get a fixed amount of money towards their expenses and what have you.
do they have to pay for permits to use the field?
They pay for the lighting and they pay, I believe they do pay a flat amount for the field, but they pay for all the referees, that's where their expenses.
Right, I understand.
The referees and the coaches in the uniforms, and they pay for all of that. So, and soccer is also done independently. We actually, as a town, don't run any sports teams themselves,
Yeah.
but we pay the insurance to cover all of the sports teams. And so that's been a big help to them to
Yeah.
be able to get through. And I don't know what they charge for the individuals to play because that goes to them and that doesn't come to them.
Right, I understand that, but I just wondered.
That's a good point. You made
It happens once a year.
it.
Thanks for letting me share.
Good evening, Louis Gomez, 172 South Morris Street. I grabbed these from right outside because with my degrees and everything, it seems like I can't read the simple recycling letter that's put out by the town. And this has been an ongoing issue with trash and recycling for my residents, and apparently now a couple more residences around my area. I live up on South Morris Street, like I said, 172 South Morris Street, here in Dover. Simple thing is, according to this first page, where the pictures are, it says shredded paper, supposed to be in a clear plastic bag and put out for recycling. I've done that. I put it inside of a box with the bag already full. It doesn't get picked up. I came here, spoke to downstairs. The lady, first of all, was very rude. She says, you need to read this and understand it. Like I said, I have an education, I have a couple degrees, but I guess it can't be a simple chart here or diagram that you guys have. But it clearly says shredded paper is recyclable. It's been sitting outside my house for the last 3 recycling periods because I'm not bringing it in. I refuse to pay over $10,000 in taxes. I think that should be, and it's not the first time that I bring this up. I brought this up for multiple administrations. The current mayor, was the older one for our district. I brought it up, nothing's gotten done. It gets fixed temporarily, and then a couple months later, I'm back here doing the same thing. I was told it was trash. My trash goes out Tuesdays and Fridays. We've had 3 trash cycles. It's still sitting out there. So again, if somebody can tell me that I'm reading this incorrectly, I will apologize. I'll go downstairs tomorrow, apologize to the lady that I did misunderstand it. But from looking at the faces and no comments coming back from anybody from the board, I think I have to following this. And I've been told my recycling bin is too big. I've driven around town. Mine cannot be as big as some of these other recycling cans that I've seen. Things. Some people use the landscaping ones, and that gets taken no problem. Mine doesn't. I even went as far as pulling up the website for the town, and you guys have something set up for the recycling coach. So I did my due diligence. I put in there shredded paper. It's a recyclable item. Doesn't get picked up. I believe that myself being a paying taxpayer, and I am considered, in this case, the customer that is paying for a service, my money's not going to where it's supposed to be. And, give me a second, please. I want to take my full 5 minutes. And the fact that I've come in and I've asked, because I haven't come to these meetings in a while, what is the procedure now? I wanted to talk to the town administrator. I haven't gotten anything back from them. We will let you know when his calendar is available. We'll set up an appointment. We'll call you back. I'm going on a year. The mayor returned my call. I said I did want to speak to her in an office, not over the phone. I'm still waiting for her assistant to call me back. That's going on 8 months. Again, the town pays the same company to pick up the trash and the recycling. I follow the recycling truck. They don't even pick up the trash here, recycling cans here in town. So why do we keep paying them? Why? Because of the lowest bid? Sometimes you gotta pay a little bit more to get something done. And like I said, this is going on almost 8 years of me complaining about it. And not to put the prior mayor on the spot, but if anybody wants to talk to him and ask him, or directly ask the current mayor, I brought it up. And the fact that I'm told that I don't understand the simple diagram, I know there's not going to be an apology, because I haven't gotten, pardon, not these officers, but there's one specific police officer that when my house was being vandalized, made it a scene that I was aggressive, and now when I called animal control because we had a raccoon, I had 4 police officers show up to my house because I'm a irate resident. Since my time is up, I will stop talking whatever I want you to say.
Make sure that we have your name in front of the resident, and Bill is our recycling coordinator, and if you'd ever asked to see me, it never got to me.
I was here Thursday last week. I was told that you're resigning, so you probably don't have time.
But I'm still, I was here today, and I'll be here tomorrow.
Okay.
And I was not here Friday, so I was here Thursday, I was not here Friday. But it didn't get, I mean, if you've been waiting to see me for a year, it's never gotten to me. So I'm just telling you.
Okay.
So I'd be happy to, just the name, I got 5 Moore Street, 5 is it?
No, 172 South Morris.
172, I got something. And you'll leave, you don't have to say that.
I'll give you my phone number. 407 866 9019. And this is 90 19. And this is going to be, I was told the reason I don't get phone calls back is that's a Florida number. By the way, it's a cell number. That was a BS reason.
What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Louis Gomez, Luis Gomez.
So I'll look into this and get back to you tomorrow.
And I'll tell you right now, you could go to Mr. Islam, but he doesn't do anything. Because I've sat down and had discussions about this, and what's actually turned around is my property gets inspected, and here are all the violations you have.
Well, one has nothing to do with the other.
Exactly, but that's what I get. We got a notice of violation and the current mayor was at my house to see it, and Mr. Visioli, who was the alderman at the time, for a patch this big of paint, the house needs to be painted. My neighbor's fence has fallen down for the last 15 years. They weren't issued to fix and replace. They didn't do anything. Mine went down because of a snowstorm. I got a letter, remove it from your property, when I was waiting for the adjuster to come in and settle the adjustment for me.
I'm sorry that the town has not been responsive to what you brought up. I do apologize for that. I only have a few days to be able to see what I can do, but I will look into it and get back to you.
Well, last thing, I'm not paying if code enforcement or health department, whoever gives me a ticket, because my cans are still out there. Because this Friday, it's recycling, let's see if it goes. It's not this
Now on my
third
now on
one.
my desk, I'll do the best I can.
Carol, 107 South Salem Street, Hoover. I just want to say that I'm just a little bit disappointed that there has not been representation for the third ward for the last meeting and for this meeting. So I just wanted to voice my disappointment that no one has been here to represent the third ward. And for all of you that are here, my kudos go to you for being present and being concerned about our town. Thank you.
Jim Dodd, 261 West Clinton Street. I want to read some names into the record here tonight. Don Travisano, Carlos Sanchez, Bill Reyes, Mike Hanson, Anthony Smith, Justin Gabries, Brad Taylor, Patrick Laverne, Sharon Wagner, Kara Petoni, Erica Vanellis, Dan DeGroot, Kelly Toohey, Ashley Wilson, Debbie Nunn, Peter Brown, Tom Spring, Colleen Cicchetti, Zori Ryerson, Kathy Picciallo, Daniela Garcia, Kathy Minahan, Mike Stalter, Rich Clowley, Greg Chontau, Ron Off, Fernando Barrios, Jeanette Traveris, George Cintron, Aaron Kent, Kathy Cameron, Linda Cook, Rochelle Evans, Darling Bode, Dakota Keyworth, Aldo Giacchetti, Lou Sperry, Diego Avale, Ricardo Trinidad, Steve Wolfong, Keith Dalton, Eugene Machado, Jonathan Press, George Glander, and Catherine, and I apologize, her last name escapes me, from administration. And now, Mr. Bennett will make the 46th town employee to have either resigned, retired, or terminated, or forced to leave because of this administration. Not all, but most of these employees have not been replaced. I figured the number is about 30 that haven't been replaced. If you take an average salary of $50,000, $20,000 in benefits, $70,000 an employee, you're looking at about $2.1 million. And that's only going 30 out of 46. Much of the salaries are a lot higher. I'd like you to explain to the public where that money is being spent, since taxes have consistently gone up for 2 consecutive years in Dover under your administration, Mayor. And I'd also like to know what you are doing to establish employee retention. And what are you going to do to keep the few employees that you have left here in the town of Dover?
I won't answer those questions, but I want you to know that your statements are incorrect that you gave us tonight. Some of those people left when you left.
I said they resigned or retired because of this administration.
That's not
That's what I
true,
said.
and you know
It's
that,
very true.
Jimmy.
It's very true.
That's not true.
Tell me the name, we'll call them up and ask them
What
questions.
about the 16 that walked out when you were there?
One employee left because she's sick. You don't get anything.
46 employees, Mayor. What are you doing? Okay, then answer the question. What are you doing for current retention? I'm asking the question, what are you doing for current
You
retention?
have the answers, Jimmy, to everything that we do. You have all the answers. You know.
I'm asking a question, I'm not giving an answer.
I'm not giving you an answer
Because you don't have the answer, Mayor. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you too, Jimmy. You come to me. Just seriously,
Tommy Tiffany, 2 Elm Street, where you go? Well, Mr. Bennett, you were the reason why I came to this meeting tonight, to congratulate you and wish you a bright future. And out of the last 16 administrators that we went through, I want to say by far, you are one of the best, and you're heartless for this town. So when somebody comes up here and talks about 40-something people that are fired or this gone, 16 were under your administration just for the administrator. So get your facts straight. Where's the money? Ask him. He's the one building the Taj Mahal. So with that being said, this is all about politics, because if you were a concerned citizen, you would come to help this town, you would give suggestions. But there's so much hate nowadays that it's not funny. And it really needs to stop. It really does. This is not a place for your political stuff to come and put on Facebook and misinformation. Because your administration was a lot worse. And they may have their problems, But you know what? I hope the people are smart enough. If you're not happy with this administration, don't go backwards. Because that is the devil himself. Right there. Okay, you're a liar, you're a cheat. You accuse people. You're standing up for Fernando, who you put pictures on the website of his arrest records and everything
You're
on
allowing
the
this?
news. Okay?
As a
But now you
lawyer,
want
aren't you
stand up
supposed to
for him?
stop it?
You're the biggest hypocrite, the biggest liar, and the little piece of shit.
That's great.
I will, honey. You're a prick. Hey,
And she
you know
allowed
what?
this, you allowed this in this.
Please walk away.
I'm not out of order, they're out of order, he's out of order. Stop, you're out, stop. You stop.
Hi, Maria Chacon, 82 East Blackwell Street, Dover, New Jersey. As you know, I always come here to record because we don't have that transparency with this current group of people. Ray did mention that there's going to be something in the works. I would like to know what is the time frame for that, and also I also came to voice my concern, but I was surprised and happy to see our town attorney here, but he's been missing here for months, and I wanted to know the people that cover for him. Do we also pay him, right, as a town attorney, and does the cover get paid as well?
The cover does not get paid. That's between the town attorney and the cover. He takes care of the cover.
So my concern is for a town attorney to be missing for many months. I mean, it is our town, our tax dollars.
Right, but I mean, that's assuming that it's not at a meeting that he's not available. He's available.
And another thing that I noticed, you were able to open up a telephone line for him to attend one time, but when one of the aldermen wanted a line open, you said no to that.
First of all, I didn't say yes or no to any of it. So, but once we went to 100% live, we weren't able to do. We weren't able to have a hybrid. At least that's the way it was explained.
But how come you were able to open that line for the lawyer and not a line for the public?
I don't know which one you're talking about, to be honest with you. But all I know is that I'm told you can't have a hybrid. You either have live or you have Zoom, but you can't have both. That's what I'm told.
Yeah, but they do it at the Board of Education.
Pardon me?
They do it at the Board of Education. They have the YouTube channel, is recorded. People could show up as well.
I can't tell you. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I was
Okay.
told.
All right, thank you.
I would be hopeful that we could have the live streaming here as soon as possible. If it's either the way that you do it and have someone, because the Board of Ed actually has someone come in to do exactly what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about doing that until, and try that for a while until we got to January. We talked about that recently at the night. So
Okay.
when Ray says we're looking into it, we truly are in order to get it done because no one's disagreeing with you.
Okay, thank you.
I don't.
Thank you.
See no other hands?
Excuse me.
Louis, you had your 5 minutes, you can't come back. Sorry.
Come back.
It's not, we don't I will get you, call you tomorrow and talk to you about the other things.
It was going to be a simple question. I want to honor a veteran by getting there, finding out information on how to get a banner put up. Considering
I can
the
talk to you
person
tomorrow,
is,
but I call you about the other stuff.
considering the person was a Medal of Honor recipient for this town.
We have a whole procedure now to reopen, so we'll get that information for you tomorrow.
Seeing no one there, I need a motion and a second to close the public portion. All in favor?
Do you want to get something?
Next item that we have on the agenda is the executive session. motion and a second for resolution 243, 2022, allowing to enter into a